Classroom teachers must learn to communicate with the students whose English language background is limited, at the same time that the students themselves are learning to use. Diversity of special educational needs. That is one important point that we are going to mention. Another factor making classroom increasingly diverse has been the inclusion of students with disabilities in classrooms with non-disabled peers. For example, in Canada, similar legislation was passed in individual provinces during the same general time period. The law wanted to free appropriate education for children with disabilities of any kind, whether the impairment in physical, cognitive, emotional, or behavioral. The laws also recognize that such students need special support in order to learn or function effectively in a classroom with non-disabled peers. So they provide for special services, for example, teaching assistants, etc., and procedures for making individualized educational plans for students with disabilities. As a result of these changes, most American and Canadian teachers are likely to have at least a few students with special educational needs, even if they are not trained as special education teachers, or have had no prior personal experience with people with disabilities. Classroom teachers are also likely to work as part of a professional team focused on helping these students to learn as well as possible and participate in the life of the school. The trend toward inclusion is definitely new compared to circumstances just a generation or two ago. Before one generation or two generations, we had different kinds of paths about this, as you know. The other point is lifelong learning. The diversity of modern classrooms is not limited to language or disabilities. Another recent change has been the broadening simply of the age range of individuals who count as students. In many nations of the world, half of most of 3- and 4-year-olds attend some form of educational programs, either part-time, preschool, or full-time. The obvious differences in maturity between preschoolers and older children led most teachers of the very young to use flexible open-ended plans and teaching strategies and to develop more personal and family-like relationships with their young students, the typical with older students. As important, though, are the educational and philosophical issues that early childhood education has brought to public attention. Some educational critics ask whether preschool and daycare programs is becoming inappropriate subtitles for families. Other educators suggest, in contrast, that teachers of older students can learn from the flexibility and open-ended approach common in early childhood education. For teachers of any grade level, it's a debate that cannot be avoided completely or permanently. Some adult students, now we are going to talk about some adult students that may be completing high school credentials that they missed earlier in their lives. But often the students have other purposes that are even more focused, such as learning a trade related to the skill. The teachers of adult students have to adjust their instructional strategies. The instructional strategies are very important, and relationships with students so as to challenge and respect their special strengths and constraints as adults. One more important point that I want to refer to now is the changing teaching profession and using technology to support learning. For most teachers, technology means using computers and the internet as a resource for teaching or learning. These tools have greatly increased the amount and range of information available to students, even if their benefits have sometimes been exaggerated in media reports. With the internet, it's now relatively easy to access up-to-date information practically on any subject imaginable, often within pictures, video clips and audio. To what? Here, to accompany them. Yes, all of these members, all of these parts are just to accompany them in their path. It would seem not only that the internet and its associated technologies have the potential to transform traditional school-based learning, but also that they have in fact begun to do so. A single computer can also enrich the learning of individual students with special interests or motivation, and it can provide additional review to students who need extra help. These changes are not dramatic, but they lead to important revisions in teachers' roles. Teachers' roles are very important. How? They move teachers away from simply delivering information to students and toward facilitating students' own constructions of knowledge, as happened in the past, and now in modern education, it's not accepted. From full frontal teaching to guide on the side becomes easier as the amount and use of the computer and internet technologies increases. But technology also brings some challenges, or even creates problems. It costs money to equip classrooms and schools fully. Often that money is scarce. May therefore mean depriving students of other valuable resources, like additional staff or additional books and supplies. Other challenges are less tangible. In using the internet, for example, students need help in sorting out trustworthy information or websites from the fluff. Websites that are unreliable or even damaging. And this point is one of the most challenging points among students and even parents, and so the teachers. Accountability in education is very important. Accountability in education. In recent years, the public and its leaders have increasingly expected teachers and students to be accountable for their work, meaning that schools and teachers are held responsible for implementing particular curricula and goals, and that students are held responsible for learning particular knowledge.